This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize the headlines that you may have missed this morning, but we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 7th of December 2021, and I am Serbia.
I am GW.
And I am 2J. In case you missed today's headlines, here they are. In the Daily Nation, 2022, Uhuru follows the Moi script. In the Standard, they paid for state neglect with their lives. In the Star, Kenyatta hand at setting up Raila's big day. And finally, in the People Daily, unity test as Raila invites Oka chiefs. It's a bit of a slow news week, as we can see.
Yes.
But I think I'll kick us off with the Star that inspired my thoughts. Kenyatta hand in setting up Raila's big day. So as we know, on Friday, 10th December, ODM has told us that they will be making a big announcement. And today, we want to encourage Baba Man to use this moment to throw his hat into the ring and announce his presidential bid. Because if he does so, his timing could not be better.
Yes.
So in the past, we have accused RUTO of showing his cards too early. He thought he was getting a head start, but all this did was expose his soft underbelly and cause what we would call a wheelbarrow fatigue. And the beneficiary of this has been none other than Raila Odinga.
True.
But if RUTO made a mistake in campaigning too early, will Baba make a mistake by officially announcing his intention this Friday? In our view, the answer is no. And today we want to tell Raila why he should make his presidential announcement this Friday. 1. In presidential strategy, the announcement to run marks the beginning of the campaign season. And the one who does so first gets the benefit of first mover advantage. Simply put, this means that whoever moves first, launches first, or announces first gains a significant advantage above the rest. And we must be clear here. We are talking about first among equals.
Correct.
So sincere apologies to the likes of Mwangi Wairia, Honorable Justin Muturi, and Alfred Mutua. Your presidential bids just don't count here. But by announcing his candidacy as the first frontrunner, Baba Man will be cementing himself as the one to watch and setting the pace that the rest have to follow. 2. The timing of announcements has everything to do with political momentum. Now, having momentum on your side is the difference between success and failure. And part of this momentum is identifying a crescendo and following it swiftly. So following the state of the nation, Baba has the opportunity to announce his candidacy on the eve of the Jamhuri weekend. So if Raila has promised to give us the third and final liberation, it would be completely momentous for him to announce, as we remember, the first liberation from the colonizer.
Yes, yes.
So Baba will leave us on this high into Christmas and the New Year, while others are paying crowds to wear yellow outfits. And 3, should Raila Odinga tell us he is running this week, it really puts William Ruto into a corner. According to Mr. Ruto, he's not campaigning, he's working. Yet he has spent the better part of 4 years as a certified ghost worker, number 001. But his UDA fanatics will be expecting some kind of formal announcement should he want to run for president. So when is he going to do this? But do not forget that all public officers must resign after party nominations. And this, according to IEBC, will take place April next year. So William Ruto has 4 months to announce, get nominated, and vacate the office of the deputy president if he wants a chance at 2022. All the while, ICC is calling.
Correct.
So Raila Odinga must announce this Friday to place a fire under Ruto's bum. So this is just some humble encouragement, of course, and we could be completely wrong. But if timing is everything, then we believe that Baba has been presented with a moment to influence the future for his benefit, and he needs to take it now.
All right. So when will people start taking Mutua seriously?
Who knows?
Today, I would like to talk about the politics of defection. Why might someone switch sides?
Yes.
You might ask. Recently, the Kenyan political scenario looks like a butter trade hall as politicians switch party allegiances for individual interests. It's akin to a Game of Thrones for power with all the swapping loyalties. Majority of these turncoats are claiming they are doing it in the interest of the nation and other stories. However, their dismal political career suggests otherwise. Several are retired involuntarily in 2017 elections, and they hope to make a political comeback, if not just land a meal ticket. Actually, in 2017 general elections, over 60% of MPs and 50% of governors were voted out. So their party hopping is understandable, if not somewhat inexcusable. However, majority of gamer defectors from the current government are just mercenaries nourished by money and power who have mastered the art of political somersaulting. Tragically, some of these defectors have never risen to power on a crest of a popular vote, meaning some have never won any elective seat while the rest have never even appeared at the ballot. And that is why we won't even waste our national imagination by mentioning some of these nondescript characters. However, there is a crop of defectors, mostly gamer politicians whose defection clearly has no rationale behind it. I mentioned a few weeks ago that this crop led by Mrs. Kamodo might have lost the plot a long time ago by being tactically inept at having zero strategy. While still maintaining my position on this, I would like us to consider another possibility. Could these defectors be moles executing a scheme? Remember, Kikuyus know what Moi did. He jailed their sons, ate their banks, and castrated their economy. The Kikuyus also know that RUTO was Moi's best student. The question, therefore, is this. If Kikuyus can see all the Moi traits in RUTO, are they executing a scheme? In Sun Tzu, Art of War, all warfare is based on deception. Hence, when we are able to attack, we must seem unable. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. So, are the Kikuyus hoodwinking RUTO? Let us remember that in all of this, President Uhuru Kenyatta has mastered the supreme art of war, which is to subdue the enemy without fighting. In the ongoing defections, he has kept mum and even postponed the NDC. Uhuru Kenyatta has also shown that if you know the enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Time is the bearer of all truth, and with the defections, we can see the chaff being separated from the wheat. Uhuru is giving ample time to all opportunists to exit the party, and this way, he can retain the loyal crop before he unveils his next plan. RUTO should remember that no one acquires power to lose it. This is because as he is loudly collecting political outcasts, the president is playing extremely subtle to the point of soundlessness, perhaps even to the point of formlessness. And this, as Sun Tzu tells us in the Art of War, is the person who directs his opponent's fate.
Oh yes, do not underestimate him at all.
Not at all. Well, today I would like to speak on legacy. With just 8 months to the general election, President Uhuru Kenyatta has been seemingly at the center of influence when it comes to his successor and power politics. When Moi picked Uhuru as his successor, he was still green and hadn't cooked and clocked long enough hours to hold office. And here at the Photo School of Government have previously said that it takes at least 10 years to make a president.
True.
Even RUTO has not clocked his hours or his years because he has been busy campaigning for 8 years straight. And he could be said to the chief in command of the Ghost Worker Union. Look, in politics, there's this idea of portraying presidents as a lame duck. Starting in the 20th century in America, the term was used to describe ineffectual politicians. We know who you are. Towards the end of the incumbent's term, a president chooses his successor and his political power slowly becomes significantly less and diminished. Now, with fewer work being done at the end of their term, who's to say that who's running the country? Ironically, this has proved to be the opposite case for Uhuru. The president has been masterful in the internal and external activity of Kenya, with the organization of justice, the army, industrial and commercial sectors being established for our future.
Indeed.
Look, good infrastructure is the backbone of any successful society and economy. People need to access energy, transport, sanitation, hospitals, and schools to thrive. This is what Uhuru's legacy is talking about. Not elevated wheelbarrows carrying your grandmother's and Banana Republic rhetoric. Lame duck presidents are known to make very controversial decisions towards the end of their terms because they're no longer constrained by concerns of re-elections. This allows them to be more motivated to get things done and preserve legacy. For example, in Obama's final term, no one predicted the imminent establishment of diplomatic ties with Cuba, the mutual opening of embassies, and the full-throated reframing of relations replacing decades of mutual hostility with positive engagement. A move which could have significantly diminished his re-election aspirations in his first term. A new chapter of history was opened. So, as we near the final stretch of Uhuru's term, it is clear that he has warded off the lame duck mantra, which has been known to infect the fears of outgoing presidents. He overcame the current political stalemate with finesse and is leaving office with a stacked track record. Surely, history will reward his efforts.
Yeah.
And to the watu saying, hatutakula barabara, our country cannot stand still waiting for handouts. The moment we fail to make progress is when we'll begin to regress. If the edge of the blade is not kept sharp and bright, then ultimately the law of rust will take hold and assert its claim.
That is so true. In fact, I encourage Kenyans to go visit some of our neighboring countries. I think once you see what's happening across our borders, you will be so grateful for what is happening in this great land, Kenya.
100%.
Take that up. All right, so as you know, we have a 3-part criteria that we use to assess the headlines. We ask ourselves, is the headline topical or speculative, repetitive or groundbreaking, and thoughtful or just plain lazy? I think that when we look at the headlines, first and foremost, the Star, they paid for state neglect with their lives. Of course, I think we all know what happened with that bus.
Yeah.
I think just to honor those who passed away and their families, we shall not toss that headline, we'll just put it aside. And we'll look at the other 3 headlines. In The Nation, 2022, Uhuru follows Moi script. The Star, Kenyatta hand at setting up Raila's big day. And The People Daily, unity test as Raila invites Oka chiefs. I think with the Daily Nation, Uhuru follows the Moi script. I think that is completely wrong. I don't think Uhuru is following any Moi script.
He's setting his own pace.
Yes, Chairman has told us exactly why he's setting the pace. So on that note, can we please toss the Daily Nation?
Very fast.
Right? The People Daily. I don't know about you.
Oka. I'm tired of seeing Oka everywhere.
I completely agree. I'm tired of Oka. They're not doing anything. If anything, they are followers, not leaders. Sorry, honorable gentlemen.
Tagcoat sisters, what do you call them?
Yes, bearded sisters.
And I still maintain my opinion about Oka. Oka needs Baba more than Baba needs Oka.
Most definitely. I think on that note, we shall toss the People Daily, which leaves us with the Star, Kenyatta hand in setting up Raila's big day. I think that if we're to say he's not a lame duck president and he is in control of what Kenya will look like post-2022, of course he's in, his hand is involved in what is going to happen. So if you guys agree, I'd like to give it to the Star.
Yes.
Me too.
All right, there we have it. The Star gives us our winning headline. Now, onto the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. And again, just like the headlines, we have a 3-part criteria. We ask ourselves, is the cartoon humorous or dry, satirical or pessimistic, and finally effective or just plain lazy? Why don't we kick off with the Daily Nation?
Okay. So we have a caricature of Alfred Mutua. He's launching his 2022 presidential campaign. Holding the camera is Mutua, and the director is also Mutua, who is holding the clapperboard, which reads, director, me, cameraman, myself. So this past weekend, Mutua, of course, launched his presidential manifesto. The cartoon seems to suggest that, seeing that he's a PR professional, he's controlling every single thing about his campaign. So I was also surprised he promised newlyweds 500K to 1 million. As that was a loan, but it was a gift. A gift is something you will not repay unless the marriage certificate is the security. I don't know.
It will be a year of weddings and elections, eh?
But okay, as much as this cartoon is funny, I mean, can you blame the guy, right? The thing is, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself.
Optics.
So of course, he has to be the cameraman, the director, the speaker, the organizer. So good for him. How about we park that while we look at the Standard? All right, so in the Standard from Gado, here we have a TPLF soldier, sitting in a tank, whose tracks are lined with human skulls and whose name is War. And the tank is headed towards Addis. And on the right, we have fleeing victims of war and soldiers who are offering them a ride. And here the person at the top, the TPLF guy, is saying, hop in.
Yeah.
So of course, I think we're all aware of what is happening in Ethiopia right now. But I think some of the advancements have been that PM Abiy's forces have managed to move into the Tigray region and take on 2 regions.
Yes, they're making good ground actually.
Yeah, good ground. But something about this has really bothered me. I think we need to start questioning that Nobel Peace Prize that he received. Of course, he's the one who reunited, Ethiopia with the Tigray.
Yes.
And some people are calling him the Nobel Prize winner who went to war. I think the person who should have received the Nobel Peace Prize is none other than Uhuru Kenyatta himself.
Correct.
I mean, if we look at that handshake, that was a mastery in peace building and political stabilization.
Yes.
So in the event that they do withdraw it, which they have done before, maybe they should give it to his friend Uhuru Kenyatta. All right, I think we'll park that as well. Oh no, actually, you know what? Let's toss it. While we look at the star.
Okay. Now in the star, we talk about real or empty rhetoric. The cartoon has these images of all the characters who are ready for elections, leading the 22 presidential candidates, and they are looking through this box, rambling into what? Empty thoughts, empty rhetorics. Now, you can see the awkward principals at the back waiting for their turn. Now, what do you think these bubbles are saying? Mama Mboga, Matakoju, wheelbarrows.
Yeah.
Are they always making empty promises? But clearly, these hopefuls are not legitimate.
Well, I think we've always said this about politics. It's not about promises, it's about interests, right? So I think at the end of the day, that is what is going to align all of these people and bring them together. Mutual interests. And I think the most important thing is to look at people's track records. We have identified himself, Ghost Worker 001.
Actually, I like what you said last week. Will you believe me or your eyes?
Or your eyes, exactly. So if he has done nothing in 4 years, why should we assume that he's going to do anything? Should we elect him come 2022?
Why is Betangula at the corner there?
Of course. Okay, so I think we're going to toss the star for not inspiring any imagination.
Yeah.
And I think lastly, we're going to look at the People Daily. So in the People Daily, we have the Ministry of Health throwing a target, which is a person labeled COVID jab target, and Ministry of Health is saying, I missed it. Oh my goodness. Okay, first of all, who is this guy? Stano. Hi, nice to meet you. This cartoon is terrible. I think one, it's completely negative and it misses the point.
Yes, he missed the point.
He missed the point. Fantastic. I think there are many things we have to consider, and number one being vaccine hesitancy for whatever reasons maybe going on. Yeah. So I think the first thing I will say is that the Ministry of Health aimed to reach 10 million vaccinated by December 2021. And they are at 7.58 million. So if we were to look at grades, they have achieved 75%.
Yes.
I think that is more than a pass. That is a B or an A. So I think Ministry of Health, we will give you a pass in that regard. And the second thing is we have to consider that there's an 8-week wait between first vaccine and second vaccine.
Yes.
So I think in an effort to do all of that, they've done the best that they can.
And have to consider the calendars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Third and final, I will blame the lazy and evil media. It is your job to inform the public and let them know that those hesitancies, they can, be obeyed, right?
They have a duty.
Right. So on that note, I will remind the public, please get vaccinated. Do your research, check on, your personal self and see whether you think that the vaccine is right for you. But I think we know that it is safe. So on that note, I think we will toss the People Daily, which leaves us with the Daily Nation. I think, did that Mutua one make us laugh? Was it inspired?
The only thing that's funny is his clown costume, really.
Right? Okay.
I think we toss it. I don't lie.
You want to toss it?
Toss all of them.
Serbia, do we toss, do we keep?
Let's keep.
Okay, fine. Okay, 2 out of 1, sorry. So on that note, we have a winning cartoon from the Daily Nation and a winning headline from The Star. So thank you for joining us today. Don't forget you can find us on your TV screens. We are also on Pang, Free to Air, GoTV and Star Times. Don't forget to subscribe. On that note, I will leave you on a word about vision. Vision is the art of seeing what is invisible to others. And leadership is the capacity to translate that vision into a reality. Have a good evening and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.